Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be reviewing The Owl House Season 2 Episode 12 called Elsewhere and Elsewhen. And I just did a mini review on Big City Green Season 2 Episode 21 called Chipocalypse Now. It's this mini review. It's only like a minute 1 second, I think. Just talking about the image, which is the thumbnail of this character, like how this character's like facial expressions of kind of showing kind of what's happening in the episode in that moment, kind of deciding like what's going on and my rating in that moment of what I thought of the episode. And that's a big episode, so you can check that out. So we're in episode 12 right now, and where we left off in episode 11, which was a good episode. I wasn't sure if it was gonna be okay or good, but it turned out to be pretty good. It could have been better, definitely. We had again, spoilers for episode 11. We had the Coming Day Parade. We know we have 1 month exactly until the what was it? Until the eclipse happens, which is the Day of Unity. So we have 1 month. We have a timeline. We have a timeline now. We have Emperor Bellos reveal his face to the entire Isles. It's not just revealed to just, Hunter and to the audience. It's revealed to us also. We had Ida kind of realize that Rain is still working for the Emperor's Coven, but she kind of realizes something's off with them. We have Rain kind of drinking this potion from Terra Snapdragon. We met Terra Snapdragon, which is a new, well, not new, but it's a new character to us, the head of the Plant Coven. So we had her. She was okay. Let's see. We had Luce tell Amity what happened, in the human realm, in that in between place. We have Luce tell Amity the truth with that. We have Amity and Willow bonding. Willow has like a little green dye in her hair. It was like a green strip in her hair, and we have her hair braided, so we had that connection going on. Kikimora has problems with her mom. It's not something we really care about, but I guess that's a thing too. If you were wondering, hey, does Kikimora have a mom? Yeah, she has a mom. Okay. Lilith has a big part in this episode right here, because in episode 11 we saw a little glimpse of her along with Gwendolyn. And we actually saw her hair was getting a little curly. We see that right here. So that's pretty cool. Because in the past, before she became into the Emperor's Coven, she had curly hair. It was also orange, but it was curly. What else? Gus is pretty much the same, except that he gave a book to Amity. It was like a Spanish cooking book. It was helping Amity speak Spanish, because you would want to go to your friends if you need help with something, especially when you're trying to impress someone else. Because obviously Amity didn't want to ask Luce about, speaking Spanish. I mean, obviously she could, and Luce would be happy to teach her, but I kind of want to impress her without her knowing. And Willow, Ida, and Edric, Emra, and Odalia, and Alador probably don't know anything about Spanish. So, but Gus apparently does, so she went to Gus for help. And I think that's pretty awesome. Because apparently, what was it? I think I heard this from Dana Terrace from somewhere. It was like a tweet, like was it a tweet? Yeah, I think it was like a tweet like a long time ago, but please correct me if I'm wrong. Everyone in the Isles can speak French except for Amity and Luce. That's to my understanding. So, because... And my confirmation to that is only Jerbo from, I forgot, it was in season 1, but it was the first day where Jerbo said, "Oh, I accuse you," but it was in French. So I only have a confirmation for Jerbo. If you don't remember, he was one of the detention kids. So yeah, I only have him as confirmation that he can speak French. But apparently everyone can except for Amity and Luce. But please, in the comments below, is that, oh no, this is another character who can't speak French, but apparently everyone can, except for those two. Anyway, so yeah, that was pretty cool, Gus. It was off screen, which it's kind of lame. I wish Amity and Gus would interact more. there's like a hope, and I would do this for like my hope, my what I wish I would see in season 3 when I do that video for the specials. There is something for Amity Gus that I do want to see, but I'm not gonna say now because that's not gonna be until like a long time. But there's something I want to see with that. Let's see. Gus with the cookbook. Amity with Luz. Rain and Ida. Willow with her hair dye, who's just a strip. With her hair braids. Amity and Willow rekindling their friendship. Kikimora, mom, I don't care. Kikimora gets her hand dragon back. All right. Terra Snapdragon says something interesting, which spoilers. It's gonna be in this episode. It's not 100% confirmed, but it's like, I would say, what, like 85% confirmed. I was like, okay, this is what Terra was talking about. But because Disney and these shows always try to sweep under the rug, saying like, oh no, you actually thought it was this, and it was basically confirmed, but no, it's not actually this, because it's not 100% confirmed. It could also lead to something else. So I'm trying to pump the brakes just a little bit, just in case I'm wrong. But I'm like 86% sure this is correct. Because Terra Snapdragon said, oh, the Emperor looks forward to meeting you. And even Amity said, didn't you already meet the Emperor? Didn't he already meet you? Like, what's going on? But when you were trying to save Ida from the petrification that was in the season 1 finale, so what's going on with that? I'm 86% sure in this episode that's what she was referring to. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. Anyway. Okay, was that everything? Want to make sure. I already mentioned Lilith and Gwendolyn. They were watching the parade. Rain playing in the parade. It sounded really nice. I love classical music. Rain, like shooting lightning and their battle strategies and their battle techniques. I love that. That was awesome. Amity and Luz combining their magic with doing that ice abomination fist. That was pretty cool also. I'm saying all this stuff because I'm not sure when I'm going to get to episode 13. Maybe next week, but I'm really not sure. So that's why kind of recapping episode 11 just a little bit, or a lot. Luz trying to find a middle ground for her and her mom, for her mom to understand in her way, sort of. Hopefully Luz can find like a better middle ground, because obviously it didn't work, but who knows. So that's my recap of episode 11 of where we left off. And obviously you see right here, we have Lilith. And is that a new outfit for her? Yeah, I think it's a new outfit. So that's pretty cool. And basically we get to Luz, and which is pretty cool because she has the Amity's glove is on her bulletin board. We're basically saying how to make a portal home, and like who's this Phillip guy, and like all this stuff. And it actually says buy Amity new pair of gloves, because it was kind of ruined, because they had to take one of the fingers to make the portal, so she only has 4 fingers left. But in this episode they actually use one more, so technically she only has 3 more attempts. That's interesting. So one finger was used in the first half of season 2. Now we're in the second half of season 2, and now another one is left. Obviously I think more is going to be used this half of the season, since we're so early in this half, but who knows. In the comments below, how many more fingers are going to be used before the finale? Basically, Luz is basically, trying to think like, okay, how am I going to get home? How's this portal going to work? Then the Echo Mouse is, running in his wheel and is drinking some water. And then the Echo Mouse is, I don't really like the concept of the Echo Mouse, but you know how some things like grow on me? It's not really growing on me, but I really like Phillip's voice. I don't know, it's pretty cool. And he said like, let's say 1660 or 1670, or I'm losing track of time and the years are flying by. And I need to find the collector, because he is going to show me my way home. And I found all the ingredients, including Titan's blood and hopefully I'll get to home safely, and Echo Mouse stops because it does what it wants, apparently. And this is actually King actually says the collector, like, who's the collector? And Ida's like, oh yeah, the collector's such a lame name. Who puts the in front of their name? I was gonna say with Ida, I thought someone was gonna mention it. Oh, aren't you Ida the owl lady? But apparently, then I had to remind myself that Ida didn't give herself that name. Because Ida, what was it, like episode 4, season 1? She said that's why people call me Ida the Owl Lady. Yeah, people gave her that name, so that wasn't really her choice, but whatever. So like that's really lame putting the in front of your name, and then Lisa, maybe I can find out more about him, and this collector person, like well, what's he about? Why does he have this moon face? And also, when the mouse was projecting it, I really liked the design of the glass skull that was contained Titan blood. Maybe we get to see it. Maybe it's still around. It might have been broken somewhere, but that'd be pretty cool if you see it replicate or something. I don't know. I think it'd be pretty cool. Anyway. But besides the fascinating glass skull jar, sorry. Let's see. What I have to. All right. Then we are off to the party, and so Lilith's having a celebration of her. And basically she's been fired from the Emperor's Coven, obviously. So now she's working. I don't want to say, sort of in the Emperor's Coven, but it's like low ground. It's basically in the historical society, basically, and this is Lilith's passion. Like, she was put in the Emperor's Coven because, like, this is like for the high intellects everywhere, but she was basically stuck inside all day doing desk work, so it wasn't really anything fun for her, and mainly she did this to find a cure for Ida. So now that's sort of done. She doesn't want to be in the Emperor's Coven anymore, and also she was fired, so and we have this new character. I was like, oh, who's this? And she's I mean, I liked her design, but she was kind of, I don't know. I think it was like 2 on the nose. I'm not gonna take a point off, but it was kind of too on the nose. Because basically I like Hootie's like, let's do a toast to Lulu, and Steve's there like, yeah, all hail Lulu, and you're basically saying like, oh Lulu, we're so proud of you, and you're getting a new job, you're getting back on your feet, like you're not living under Ida anymore. Well, I mean, living with your parents, but that's okay. And Lilith is doing like a little smile to Hootie because they're pals, which is nice. And Lilith's like, oh, didn't I miss the toast? It's like, yeah, but hey, you can have these owl pellet appetizers. I'm gonna cough up for you right now. Like, no, Hootie, I'm good, thank you. And basically, and she actually asked, hey, Hootie, me and the Echo Mouse, my little buddy here, wants to thank Lilith. Oh, I think she went outside. And we basically have Lilith saying, to Flora, and her name's Flora Displora. Okay, Dora the Explorer. Okay. People made a reference that she kind of reminds them of Indiana Jones. I would assume Indiana Jones too, if the whole Flora Displora name didn't just shout out Dora the Explorer. Like, you know? Imagine a team, actually, a multiverse team of Dora the Explorer, Diego, and Indiana Jones. That would just be awesome. I'm just imagining it right now. Maybe make Dora and Diego a bit older, not as kids, because that'd be weird to bring them along for like a life-threatening adventure in the like Temple of Doom or something. Yeah, but besides that, I'm losing track. And basically, apparently Flora Displora was her mentor. Ooh, that's pretty interesting how we're getting into mentors and stuff like that. That's actually kind of interesting. Because we have, I'm not going to give away everything because, that's the point of the future episodes. But basically we have Luce's mentor, which is Ida. We have Lilith's mentor, which is Flora Displora. We have Ida has a bit of a mentor in someone, and I'm gonna mention who because it's a really sweet line. I don't want to give it away. It's in later down the line in season 2, not season 3. In season 2, where she kind of mentioned it, she doesn't say mentor, but is basically saying it. So I'm not gonna mention it right now, but it's really sweet. It's really sweet. So Ida has a mentor in a way. Darius actually has a mentor. I'm not gonna mention which episode. The name, not really name, but the person literally was like mentioned. I'm not gonna mention which episode, but Darius, the head of the Abomination Coven, he had a mentor. I was like, ooh, that's interesting. So we're getting a bunch of mentors. I wonder if that's sort of one of the themes in season 2, and that is mentors. I wonder if we're gonna get. Oh, we had Amity's mentor with sort of Lilith, but it was like a one-off thing. But that was in season 1. But so that sort of happened. So Amity had a mentor in Lilith, sort of. I wonder if Gus and Willow gonna get a mentor sort of way, or they might become mentors. That'd be interesting. Maybe because his mentor in a way is sort of the, what was that guy, and remember we saw him in episode 11 when I showed him in the video of him doing that illusion parade float thing, that old guy, and Bartholomew thought he was a ghost. Maybe that is sort of Gus's and Matt's mentor in a way. I wonder if they'll hang out again. Or maybe to actually go on the weekends, but since Gus is like the main character, we're probably not gonna see it again. Lame, but I think we should see it. Okay, right. Sorry, I'm losing track. Besides about mentors, basically, okay. My first point off I had to say is that Dora Explorer, Flora has like a whip, and how strong is she? How strong is she? Because she used to whip the griffin, minding its own business, and smacked it to the ground, and then she just used the whip to flip on top of it, and then used the whip to make it fly up. Like, oh, you're under my command. I understand the second two things, using the whip to lift yourself onto the griffin and using the whip to command the griffin to go, because she must be in the Beastkeeping Coven. Not the head of it, that's Wolf, but she must, be a member of the coven. So, I would assume she knows how to control beasts, which makes sense, but to be able, because I've seen her arms, they're not that muscular to able to, I know it's a cartoon, but still, that was kind of, The final two actions, yeah, I totally see that. The first one, no, I don't see it. But you do not have the arm strength to bring that griffin down. No, you don't. Sorry. I watched it a couple times. Yeah, I tried to make myself believe, but it wasn't working. Really smooth animation though, but again, still, it doesn't work. Let's see. Basically, even Lucy said, "Hey, who's that?" Oh, Flora Explorer. Dora the Explorer. And she is a bad girl historian. And wait, is she a part of Beastkeeping Coven? I actually didn't see a tattoo on her arm, so maybe I'm just assuming because she had the griffin. Yeah, maybe she's just an historian. Okay, so she's a bad girl historian. I was doing desk work. She was my mentor, and she was busy tracking down what was it, snake horses, and loses snorses, and she gets excited. I would actually like to see one. I wouldn't want to be near one, but I'd like to see one. That'd be pretty fun. And and think what happens next. And so, she thinks she's so great. I'm gonna find something historical that's so cool. It's gonna knock the Titan's socks off, and she storms off inside. And then he's like, "Oh, congratulations on your new job." And let's see. Then we have Luce kind of worrying about the whole Phillip and the portal thing with the collector, and she talks that maybe I wish I just had time travel, that I could just go back in time to talk to Phillip or meet this collector guy or something. And she actually has an idea, at least to ask, because it's probably a long shot. Hey, Ida, is time a thing? And I'm actually glad of what Ida said. No, it's a myth, But Lilith and I, when we were girls, we actually tried to find these time pools, and she has a bunch of myths. And I'm actually glad that they do have myths. That's actually pretty cool. There's not, oh, everything that they have we think is fake in this world is actually real in their world. No, they have myths. Time travel is a myth. Well, it's not actually a myth, it's actually factual, but I'm not sure they actually wrote it down to show everyone, hey, by the way, time travel is real, but you don't want to screw around with it because it's really dangerous, because ramifications happen. I'm not gonna say spoilers, but in this episode, ramifications, oh my goodness. But yeah, but we see Sasquatch, we see time pools, we see possums apparently, which is really funny because we know giraffes exist in this world, the human realm, in right now. We know giraffes exist, but apparently they existed before in the Boiling Isles. But apparently, to them, possums don't exist in their world, but in ours, we do know they exist. Because even Lou said, "Hey, Ida, possums are real," and she's like, "Oh yeah, sure, kid." So I wonder if we can get everyone to the human realm, probably, for their own free will, and show them that, hey, look, possums are real. And Ida's like, no way. And Ida probably wants to pet one or something. That should be pretty. That should be pretty fun. Anyway, so yeah, she thinks possums are fake, and it's like, oh, maybe. Love always said that. Oh, she hated going on these things, and I always had to drag her along. But secretly, I think Love actually enjoyed these more than me. So that's another sweet moment of Love and Ida bonding. I would actually like a prequel of Love and Ida as girls, because we don't see enough of it. We get a good amount, but I think we could have gotten more. Like, yeah, about Lilith and Ida. Maybe get some Aldor and Odalia. Maybe some of the Coven heads when they were younger. To see when everyone's younger, I think it'd be pretty fun. Because a lot of people, kind of including myself, thinks that Ida should have been the main character and how she's really interesting. So if Ida was the main character, or Ida and Lilith were both main characters in their own series or mini series or something, I think people would watch them more. Maybe, I don't know. I think, at least I think so. But besides that, let me see. What comes next? Hmm. Man, I forgot my place. All right, so it's, why don't you talk to Love? It's okay, and we have Love, kind of, like painting these what were they called? Balusters or something? And it's like, oh hey Love, oh hey Luz, what are you doing? It's like, oh hey look, Dewardian balusters, and in. And she's like, oh, okay. Love is so excited about this nerd stuff. And it's like, oh, this is an impressive visit. Well, it's impressive to you, and that's all that matters. But yeah, I'm not really into that stuff. And Love's like, oh. And, hey, Ida was mentioning about time pools. And that when you were girls with Ida, you visited them. It's like, oh, yeah, I remember these things. Oh, but, I didn't have enough power source. I had the equipment, but I did not have enough power. Would Time Blood work? And we actually get to see Love's Palisman, actually, and it's really funny because we've seen Love's staff before. It looks so bold and serious, but he just looks like a really funny bird. I'm not sure we ever got a name for him, her, or they. I'm not sure for the Palisman. But it's pretty funny that Love was always like a cold, stern person, but now she's really relaxed, and now this bird's relaxed. He's probably thinking like, finally, my owner can finally relax, and I can relax. I'm tired of this stiff position. I'm tired of it. I'm just assuming that's what the bird is thinking. I don't know. Maybe he enjoyed it. Who knows? Like, I miss being stiff. Anyway. It's like, oh, would Time Blood work? It's like, oh yeah, maybe it could. And she has the equipment. It's pretty cool. And I always enjoy the soundtracks. It's really nice. And we have her measuring the trees, and measuring, feeling the soil and feeling the wind currents with the Time Blood, and to use a finger. So they only have 3 left. keep account. And basically, they're kind of measuring stuff, and Love is really smart by saying like, oh hey, it's wrinkled oak. The oak doesn't seem wrinkled, Love, or loose, but something. I'm feeling a time interference. Something's keeping these trees young. But hey, take a look at this. Oh, it must be over here. Where are the temples? And Love's like doubting herself. Like, I triple checked my calculations. Maybe we made a wrong turn. Is it? Am I broken? And we see her reflection through the glasses. It's really funny. And we have Luce like put her head in the sand. Pretty interesting way to use the time pools. Would I have chosen that? No, but it's interesting. It gets in there. It's useful. I mean, I never really seen it before. And and they basically see. I actually like the monster, not monster, the beast. Was it the what was the name? Oh, come on. Sekadamus? Skeladamus? Skeka. Man? Something Damus. I don't know. But if we remember something, actually, from, what was it? Again, spoilers for season 2, episode, what was it? 6? No, not 6, not 6. 9. Eclipse Lake. When we saw that book, and it said Grimwalker, and it had eyes that were kind of similar to Hunter, but again, it's just a theory, it's not confirmed yet, to do what we're cut up right now. And basically, it said that it needs Sakidamas, I think that's the name, scales, actually. We have a Sakidamas right here, and since the time pools exist, does Bellas know about the time pools? So Bellas could just easily just go back in time and see a Sakidamas and just get it, or Agilov actually mentioned it has a tickle spot, so he could just tickle it to sleep. You get the itch so it can sleep before it turns to stone, and get the skills right there. And just if he has the rest of the ingredients, he could just make another Grimwalker. He probably will. Well, I mean, what's to stop him unless he doesn't have the ingredients, which probably does. I mean, that's a big castle of his. So I'm assuming he has all of them. I mean, except for the... Well, I mean, he could have a jar of the scales, actually. He doesn't have to go back in time if he already has it, but I'm just assuming that he doesn't have it, but he could have it. He could have it. Anyway, talking about jars again. And basically, he's like, "Oh, look, like, hey, look, it worked." And she had to talk to herself about in your face. I figured it out. And basically, we have Luce go back in time, and it's like barbarian times, and say, "I shall whisk myself to death." And she sees like a skeleton of him. He had 3 eyes, and people say, "Oh, it could be an ancestor of Basha." I mean, it could be. I mean, anyone could have 3 eyes. Let's see. What else? Oh, this is actually pretty interesting. Before Lilith started downing herself when she was saying triple check my calculations, she actually tripped over something saying, "Oh, stupid rock." Lilith actually went into another time pool, and that's the thing that Lilith tripped over. So you get that. So even Lilith said that there is a blood fire effect, which is the butterfly effect. So things that you do in the past will affect the future. That is the thing. And which you kind of want in time travel, because you say, "Oh, you can do whatever you want." And, well, then what's the point of having consequences? Like, you would want that. So, yeah. Lilith tripped over something. We don't know why. She assumed it was rock. Lilith went into a time pool. It was her head. She tripped over it. Even though it was kind of like, "Oh, dang, I tripped over myself." So, yeah. So consequences are a thing. Be careful. And let's see what else. Oh, so they're basically going to different times, and Luce stumbles upon like the right one, but she's like, "Oh, yo, like, when's the? Is this the right era? Like, what is it? It's the Darwardian era, and that's the one that Lilith was talking about, the when she was making the balusters and stuff like that. So it's that same era. Okay. And she said, "Oh, it's Philip's time." Here's the thing. she just assumes and she got it right that Phillip was this was like the right era. It's kind of convenient because this person doesn't know. She even said, "Are you a crab maiden?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm a crab maiden." Okay, that's pretty funny. But she's like in the sand and she only sees her head, so that's actually pretty funny. Oh, you know what's also interesting? That Luce was holding her breath when she was seeing those, Skaki, the dinosaur, that creature thing. So I'm wondering if dinosaurs and those creatures are only allowed to breathe in that era. Because Luce and Lilith were holding their breath. That's interesting. Because when they went to this one and Luce went into the barbarian age, they didn't hold their breath. I wonder if we're going to go back into the dinosaur time. We might not have enough time, but that would have been interesting. Maybe they need helmets or something. I mean, like your air helmets or something. Who knows? Whew, let's see. And basically, Luce basically assumes that this is Phillip's era, and she gets it right. So yeah, kind of convenient. And basically, we is it like, oh, this is Phillip's time, and I don't like this where Lil's saying, oh, hey Luce, did you know that Skalkidamuses can hibernate and they turn to stone, and also they have a itching part in their neck, and you just tickle them, and they're basically harmless, and then they fall asleep. But Luce is like she hears her because it comes back into play in the episode, but she's like, oh, come on, Time Pool, Mama needs to find Phillip's time. And even Luce saying, hey Luce, are you listening? Because even earlier she's like, oh Lilith, I'm gonna call you cool Aunt Lilith, like, you know, Luce, you're kind of ignoring her. I actually felt bad for Lilith, and she didn't even apologize. Yeah, I'm taking a point off, Luce. That's a no. Anyway, am I caught up? Right. Okay. Now we get back to Ida, and then Gwendolyn comes back in, and then oh hey Mom, why are you still hanging out? It's oh hey your dad wants to talk to you, and she's like I don't want to talk to him, Mom. It's still too soon. Remember back in the what was it when Hootie was trying to help everyone in that episode. Oh, knocking on Hootie's door, and Ida's plotline was like the best one. And in the past, spoilers for that episode, Ida kind of messed up her dad's hand and his eye, and that's the day that Ida left the house, and she's never seen her dad since. So she's really awkward about it. Hey, I don't want to see him. Well, maybe you can tell him yourself. He's right outside. He wants to talk to you, Ida. It's been years. And I love this. King's like, I get to meet my grandpa, and then Gwendolyn's like, yeah, you get to meet him. Odell Clawthorne. He was the best talisman carver. Like inside of the Boiling Isles, he was the best, and you just see his shadow. She just books it. She just runs away. I'm like, oh, Ida, you gotta talk to him. And basically, Lilith has like a bandana around her to cover up her ears and her hair, and Luce puts a helmet on to cover her ears, and they basically go inside the era. And this is it right here. Sorry, I was talking for a long time. Hopefully not too much. And this is the 3-eyed guy I was talking about earlier. And then I see this Lilith's new. I'm just gonna say Lulu. This is Lulu's new outfit. It's really cool. And how she's, hey Luce, you had to stick by me. This is before Bellows banished wild magic. So they're probably gonna act barbaric. Let's stay close by me. Keep your guard up. Okay. And then she's whoa. And they say, oh, good tidings, young witches. And they're like, and we had this medieval Edwardian Barnesboro, and it's really cool. You know, I love this. This guy has a broken arm. He needs help, and he has a broken carriage. This guy, I'm assuming guy, it just helps him out, fixes his carriage, brings him up into the carriage because he can't get up, and heals his arm. He didn't have to do that. That was so nice. And this little cutie made a little abomination, put a flower crown around the abomination. They're all smiling. She's hugging it. so sweet. And Lucy's like, this isn't barbaric love. Everyone seems to be helping each other. And I'm actually want to play this right here. This is not really interesting, but I'm really glad that we get to hear this again.
Fellas want to banish wild magic again? Well, the Titan supposedly doesn't like it. Oh my gosh, look at this patchwork.
Sorry, I don't want to play too much, but I kind of wanted to get a little enthusiasm since I kind of cut off Luce a little bit in the beginning. So I thought this would be a good ending point right here. But she's like, love, why did Bellis want to banish wild magic again? And because, because everyone seems to be having a good time. And Lo's like, well, the Titan supposedly doesn't like it. Because even though it's kind of thinking it's kind of Boulder Dash, like kind of like, oh, are you just saying things, Bellos? So she said, supposedly the Titan doesn't like it. And then she's like, oh, look at this patchwork, Luce. It's so interesting. And Luce kind of has a face like, oh, okay. And I don't like Flora Desplora. She's putting Lilith down. Because she's like, oh, I'm pretty sure Flora would scoff at it. And hey, do you know this Phillip guy? He's a scientist. He's super smart. I'm pretty sure he's like a celebrity around here. This person, like, I don't know. and we have a montage of, look, take a look at that squid. And Love is just so interesting. I'm with Love. Like, this is really cool. And Lucy's just, trying to find this guy. I like her outfit. Her hat's pretty cool. And they're kind of like, nope, we don't know about this guy. Look at Loaf over there. She's just talking about the plants. But hey, look, we get to see Phillip in actual time, not just in a drawing. And look at these two guys. They're just, like hassling him around. And he has like a broken leg. And it's like, oh, hey, I can't believe you guys would do this to me after the fellowships we forged. Are you kidding me? After what you did to us? And I'm like, hey, I'm going to pay you back to snails. I promise you when I complete my mission. Sorry. I need some water. It's like, oh, my trusted pal Blue Fang traveled with me. And I actually want to play this right here.
This pretty little worm should make pretty good kindling.
I like his voice. Yeah, Red Fang. We have Red Fang, Green Fang, where's Blue Fang? And then I'm pretty sure these pretty words would make for good kindling. That's kind of like what Ida did in the very first episode of the first season when she saw the Good Witch Zora book. She'd say, "Oh, this book will be for good, kindling, like for good fire use, like you end up burn the flame more." And this is like, hey, that doesn't belong to you. And we just have Love in the background. She's just watching. And, it's like one of them wants to deal with her. Another one's like, hey, we don't want to deal with the kid, right? It's like, hey, why don't you ask your friend there what happened to our brother Blue Fang? I was like, ooh, what happened? And Phil's like, ugh. And he's trying to get his book and his papers. Luce gets a couple. And then, Lucy's like, oh, I guess we're in a time where Philip already went to Eclipse Lake. And, he got to Eclipse Lake and he got the Time Blood. So we are in that time. Even though in the book he said he already collected the Time's Blood, when she went to the Time Pool, she couldn't went into any year in that era. So she wasn't sure. So yeah, Philip already has the Time Blood. And it looks like he's looking for the collector. But we see two images. I wish I can show it. But it's two images. And one kind of looks like it kind of reminded me. One looks like Phillip. Another one kind of reminded me of the statue we saw in Gracefield in the mid-season finale when we went to the human realm. It kind of looked like that statue. Is Phillip the founder of that town, or is he famous at town, or his ancestors were the founders and they just look like him? I don't know. We have to wait and find out. I kind of like his mustache. It's kind of droopy looking. It's pretty cool. Because Luce only knows about Phillip, so she's kind of like, hey, who's this? And Phillip said, "Hey, that's private. That's Phillip's personal business, so I'm totally, um, not really on his side, but saying like he has a right to his own business." And then she said, "Oh wait, Phillip, wait, you're Phillip Woodabin, right? I know what it was like to be far away from home. Like, could we talk?" And he's like, "No." I was like, "Oh wow." He's off in his way. He's like, "Wait. I could give you snails. I could make you crutches because he has a broken leg. Eh, I can lead you to the collector." And he kind of looks at her like, "Oh, you know what the collector is?" And we have Philip kind of say like, "Oh, young witch Lazura, you and your aunt, was it Gertrude?" I thought it was Gertrude when the first time I watched it, but it was Gertrude with a D. Oh, like you two are crabmains and you were fleed from your castle due to like a mist. Says, "Yeah, now we just need to collect her to come back home." And then Philip's like, "Oh, okay, like I'll help you." But we got work together. He's like, "Okay." We get back to Ida, and and the king goes with her in a room, and then Gwendolyn's like, "Ida, you can't run away. It's been," and Ida kind of interrupts her. I know she's stressed out, but come on, don't interrupt your mom. She's like, "It's been years, yeah, I know." And the king's like, "Ida, come on, what even happened?" This king doesn't really know. And he's like, "Ugh, it's been years since I mean the owl beast when it like I'm just not ready." And like I feel so bad for Ida, and she tries to go out the other door, and but Hawkswig, the palisman that belongs to Gwen, Ida's mom, it stops her. He's like, "No, you gotta talk to your dad." And then she goes through the big owl stained glass window, and it has Hootie, and Hootie's like, "Oh hey, Ida." It's like, "Oh, like your pops is such a nice guy. Say, how do you get the scar on his?" And Ida's close the door. Okay, I'm willing to let go of because that was so interrupting in a way when Ida slammed the stained glass window in front of Hootie, but she still has trauma from the well, because he was about to say how to get the scar on his eye or hand, but I'm pretty sure he was gonna say eye. Ida just doesn't want to think about that. So I understand why Ida closed the stained glass window, like, ugh. And then I like how King's like, just trying to cheer Ida up. He's like, "Hey, look at this costume look." Like, "Oh, join me, sister, and we will join the Emperor's Coven and be." I'm pretty sure he said gods, but the first time I watched it, I thought he said goths, and it still sounds like that. In the comments below, did King said we can become gods or goths? You know, because Loaf does dress up like a goth. You know, the black hair with the blue and black dress and the black bluish lipstick and like the blue eyes. She's kind of like a goth, and now with the gray streak in her hair, yeah, she's kind of like a goth. So and also with the gray eyes, so yeah, she's kind of like a goth. So is it god or goth? I'm pretty sure he said god, but I'm not sure. Okay. What was the next thing? All right. So basically, basically King has the idea of the costume. He's like, "Oh yeah, that's a great idea." We get back to so they go into a cave basically, and we have a little kind of giving a funny look to Philip, and it's like, "Oh, like your niece, she's so bright and intelligent, like she must take from her aunt." And when she starts accepting the compliment, Philip went to from a happy face to like a straight face. Kind of like, okay, what's going on with this guy? And basically, oh, it's kind of really dark in here. Luce does like a light clip, and he's like astounding. Sorry, astounding. I thought I was the only one who did pictoglyphs. So he said glyphs is pictoglyphs, but it's only his own way of saying it. And it's like, oh wait, hey, the island kind of showed me, but it's kind of like it didn't want me to show me. Like it went to me eventually, but kind of took longer. I was kind of like, oh. Obviously, in the episode, I'll talk about like why. Obviously, the island didn't want to show him. It makes sense. But yeah, it kind of came to Luce easily because when Edith said you had to listen to the island and the island would show you, you had to be patient. Obviously, Philip does not seem like a patient man. But also, Luce is kind of not patient too. But Luce actually decided to listen. So now her patience kind of paid off. Can she be more patient most of the time? Yes, definitely. But has she grown patient more over the season? At least a little bit? I would say so. I would say so. Maybe it's up for like discussion, but I would say so. Anyway, let's see. I'm basically like, oh, and he's I found one in the snowflake. At least like, oh, me too. Yeah, I found one in wood plants. I found one in fire, but I didn't find one in light. Like, wow, because that came from Lucy's phone. Philip is an old guy. He doesn't have a phone. Oh, but Luce found one in the sky, so I'm surprised Philip didn't find it. But since it's like astronomical, I mean, I guess it would kind of make sense why he wouldn't find it. But he's like, hey, since I found this one, now I can I can complete this glyph that I've been working on. And she's like, you've been working on the glyph? And you didn't try it out yet? Like, no, because I was kind of waiting for one more. Because it's kind of like because it's a transportation spell. You've been working on a transportation spell? Yeah. And he just, like, does it, and it's a bunch of glyphs, and the light glyph is the final piece. And he, sorry, I need water. And then where it's gonna lead is where it's gonna teleport us to the collector. He pushes it, and like, and we go inside the Titan's skull. And Luke's like, we're in the Titan's skull, and Love's like, hey, this is sacred ground. And Phil's like, oh, no wonder why no one wanted to join with me. Yeah, you think? This is like their god. Like, you don't want to come in here, but they're in here anyway. Okay. Let's see. Should we go back to the B plot? Yeah, let's go back to the B plot. Basically, we have Ida dressed up as Love, and then Miss Gwen's like, Ida, come on, little witch lady, you had to talk to your dad. And she's like, oh, my dearest mother, my dearest sister, flew to dearest coop. But don't worry, I, the prissy little perfect lily, will fetch her for you. I will fetch her for you. And her hair just goes like over the mop. It's really funny. And Gwendolyn's like, King, like, she's not really buying that I'm buying this, right? She's like, just let her have this. She doesn't want to talk to her dad. And then she just goes outside, gets her staff out to get to fly away. She takes out the wig, rips up the dress. Is it, oh, so long, suckers. And we see Dell. We only see the back of his head and part of his face. But he's like, oh, am I too late again? Well, safe travels, Witchlight. Maybe I can catch you next time. Because he doesn't want to press on, like, if Ida doesn't want to talk to him, he's not going to talk to her. Like, because, he wants her to come to him because he's so old. I'm not sure he has enough time to keep chasing her. So he's like, oh, maybe I can catch you next time. And then Ida realizes, I can't run away anymore. Proud of you, Ida. Proud of you. And he's like, oh, hey, Dad. And she puts away Albert because she's not going to fly away anymore. We get back to the A plot. We're in the skull. And basically, we have Philip's kind of like, oh, that's the puzzle. But, oh, look at my leg. And he's like, oh, don't worry, we can help. And Philip's kind of saying like, hey, this puzzle's like half done. He seems like a smart guy, so why didn't he finish this? And like, hey, have you noticed something? And this is like, what? Oh, like, the compliments, the confidence. This feels uncomfortably familiar. I'm like, oh, I'm getting a bad feeling. Oh, man. And then Lucy's like, this seems kind of weird, especially with the puzzle. Why don't you just finish this since you're really smart? I'll go talk to Philip. They don't explain what the puzzle is. I would like the explanation. Like, oh, this is like a puzzle made by the collector or made by like King's father or something. Like, I don't know, someone really old. I'm just trying to think of someone old. Or maybe Philip reveals at the end of the episode, oh, that was a puzzle designed by me, and this is what you're supposed to do. Like, oh, but since you already figured it out, I'm going to tell you anyway. Anything. Nope, just a puzzle. It's designed like pretty well. I wouldn't say extraordinarily well, but it's designed pretty well. I would just like an explanation of what this puzzle is. It's obviously to open the door, to get information about the collector, but still, come on. And basically, Luce kind of, we see in his pouch. Luce doesn't look in the pouch. She only sees in the Phillip's diary that, she found in the library that the Echo Mouse was, a bunch of Echo mice were eating. So, and it's that one right there. And so we see in the pouch, we see a Palisman and a Blue Fang. I guess he wanted to keep it as a trophy. So yeah, he killed Blue Fang, or he wanted to keep his remains or something. I'm assuming that's Blue Fang's Palisman, or the Palisman could be unrelated, but I'm assuming it's Blue Fang's. And then Lucy could read out loud, like, she first started to whisper, but grew louder, saying like, I was unable to, I successfully avoided the beast and retrieved the item from the collector. Unfortunately, I couldn't save my companions. Excuse me. But there was something I forgot to mention. When Phillip in the Echo Mouse recording was talking, we had to see a drawing of Phillip opening the same puzzle door, but we see a scratch out of two figures. That was Lucien Love. I would love to say that I didn't say anything just to build suspense, but I totally forgot about that. So yeah, I'm honest. So yeah, so that was actually foreshadowing. Like, yeah, Lucien Love are gonna meet this Phillip guy and go to the puzzle door. And obviously Phillip closes the book kind of saying like, hey, you're not supposed to look at that. And then Love opens the door. It opens really creepily, and then Lucy, hey Phillip, why did you bring us here? Like the real reason? And then he's like, I needed a sacrifice. And Liv like, what did he say? And then the Selkidamus, like we see, and when we get into the door, grabs Liv and then poof, pulls it in. And I love when it goes to an ad, like it goes to commercial for Disney. When it goes back, we see the Selkidamus pull her a second time. I'm like, oh my goodness, this show us again. We go inside. And we basically have, Philip is like, Luce, like, Phillip tricked us, like, yeah, I know. And Phillip takes, like, a shovel outside from, like, his boot. That's why he was hurting all the time, because he had something in there. I was like, oh, that was very smart. And, that's what looks so bulky. It's like, why, your leg cannot be that big. It was the shovel. And he's just digging in the sand. It's like, I know you want to get up. I know you want to get back home, but nothing's worth hurting people. But he's that classic scientist guy that's like, as long as I get what I want, I don't care who I hurt. Okay, very, very jerk move. Like you're a bad dude. And I love this. Love's like, I hope that's your own grave you're digging. But she was like, he was digging, and he finds this like circular, like this is like a sphere. It had a moon on it, which is the collector symbol. And it's like, oh, hey, you're not in your mind. He puts it in his pouch. And Luce puts like an ice glyph, and it triggers the Selkidamus. She does a fire, so the Selkidamus does a claw Lilith and herself. And then, and Luce is like, oh, man, I should listen to you. I should listen to you about the fire blood effect. I should listen to you about not trusting Phillip. Like, I was just so interested going home. And then Luce's like, at the end of the day, Luce, you show your humility. You have your flaws, but your humility to the end, and you care about people. Like, you came to save me, and like, and I care about you as my niece. I thought that was sweet. What else? And then and Phillip doesn't know transportation spell and just leaves him there. And it's like, oh, good luck with your crab castle or whatever. Oh, you witches tell the worst lies. So he already knew that that they were lying. Oh, but he even mentioned before, like, oh, but when they say, hey, you're Phillip Wittebane, he's like, oh, I know I'm a human and I don't have a bile sac, but I can be just as important. So he has things against witches and demons. Oh, that's kind of interesting. I know, I'm just forgetting pieces in the episode I'm reviewing. I'm sorry. And basically, Luce said, oh, hey, I was listening to you. That's what was mentioned before when Luce was ignoring her, but she was still listening. And she oh, but I love how when Luce was gonna charge into the Selkidamus, Lilith was like, oh, Edith's gonna kill me. Edith's gonna kill me. Yeah, this is basically Luce's, Edith's daughter. Edith's gonna kill you if something happens to her. And basically, she scratches in the itchy spot, and Selgadonus, goes to sleep. And then, hey, look, it's Selgadonus, right? And she's like, oh, you were listening. And basically, Philip is kind of like, I love how he talks. It's like, oh, what should I call you? Ornate? Like a blanc? Like, what are you? We have them on the Selgadonus. Like, oh, hey, you guys survived. You're such a jerk, Phil. And it's like, Philip, tell me how you're gonna use it to get to the human realm. And he's like, oh, this? I need this for something else. It's like, what do you mean, no? And he's like, yeah, this is meant for the collector, but the collector doesn't have anything to do with going home. But it's information you want about going home and about my portal. Maybe we change the information. Give me something to exchange. Maybe I could use it as a sacrifice. And Luffy just punch him in the nose. I'm gonna talk about that later. And he's like, oh, you horrible sorceress. And she's like, oh, stay mad. Oh, come, Lazura. And she's like, oh, cool aunt. And the Selgadonus trips him, like kicks him in the face, so he has like a bigger mark. Oh, and basically we have sorry, before I get to the B plot, we have Lou saying, hey Luff, sorry about that. But hey, if a jerk like Philip can make his own portal, you as a most of the time nice person, I'm sure you can make one too. Oh, thanks, love. But hey, I was only meant here as a quest. You actually were having a good time here. I was watching you. Like, you were having a good time here. We have enough time before the tides come in, and so we don't get stuck here. What do you want to do? You want to do something fun, and then Luffy's like, oh hey, Luce, look, it's the Dewardian Ballisters again. And Luce has a reassuring smile, like, my aunt is having a good time, even though to her it was a little bit lame. And Luffy's having a good time. Aunt Lulu, I love it. We get back to the B plot, and oh my goodness, I wish I could play this clip, but man. Well, at least we get to use these two, which I guess is okay. But I really wish I could have played this one. And she says, hey Dad, like, I know we haven't talked in a long time. It's, man, I really don't know what to say. And then he's like, can I start? And she's like, yeah, sure. You ran away from home. I find you on a wanted poster. I see you rebuilding my old tower. So he said tower. I guess you could say towers can connected with the house, but he said tower. So I wonder the house belongs to him also. We don't know how Ida got this house, so I'm assuming, oh, it was in the family. Because she was still a teenager when she ran away. And, basically, I saw you on the news. You were about to be petrified. And, I saw that love captured you. Why wouldn't you let us help you? You're my daughter. But hey, besides all that, I heard I have a grandson now. And look, Ida's like, yeah, King's a Clawthorn. Like, he can be a handful. And he's like, it's been, 20 years? It's been 20 years, Witchlight. I can't keep chasing you. Yeah, we see him. He's old man. And she's like, I want you to stop chasing me then. I attacked you, remember? Like, can you even carve a new palisman? And we see his hands, like, shaking. I was like, oh my goodness. I could just feel it in my heart. Like, oh my goodness. And he clutches his hand. But not that he's mad at her. But he's, like, mad at himself that, like, he can't do it anymore. And he's making his daughter upset. And he's like, don't stop trying to forgive me. I don't deserve it. You get a good look at him. He has a beard. And he has a mustache. And he has a scar over his eye. And his hand's damaged. That's why he's shaking. There's something I wanted to mention first before I get to the rest of the speech, which I love it so much. We see his palisman. It's like a yellow cardinal with a scar over his eye. It's similar to Hunter's cardinal with a scar over his eye. Obviously, it's like a little bit different. I think the yellow one has a little bit more, I would say, a little bit more detail with more triangles on it, like with more like feathers. But I say it's pretty similar. We didn't get a name for the palisman though. Not for the red one, but for the yellow one. We didn't get a name for it. Excuse me. So yeah, could that be a connection? Because we don't know where the red cardinal came from. Because the Bat Queen, says like, "Oh, you finally found a home after all these years." Was the palisman created by Dell's ancestor? Um, I really find that interesting. Like, I wonder where the red cardinal came from. Is it connected with this yellow cardinal? Why do they both look similar? Why are they both cardinals? Why do they have both scars over the side? Were they attacked by the same creature? I don't know. But basically, they'll say, "Hey, Ida, I'm not here to try that again. Like, but I came here to give you this." And she's like, "Oh, what's that?" It's a palistrum seed. It's like, to grow a tree to make a new palisman. Hey, look, my palisman days are over, but I've been helping the Bat Queen replenish her forest to help make the trade. So I was kind of thinking, when I heard that Ida and Loaf had a father, how come the mom came here, but not the dad? But I was kind of going to the solution that either he was still on the trip, or due to him being attacked. Well, actually, he didn't go on the trip because he was attacked. So sorry. No, I was kind of thinking that maybe because he was attacked, he was so injured he couldn't visit her. He was actually with the Bat Queen in the forest. So that's kind of that's the explanation. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense why he didn't go that one episode where we actually met Gwendolyn. Why Dell wasn't there? He was with the Bat Queen. I was helping the Bat Queen replenish her forest so someone new can learn the trade. And I love he's like, "Did you just come here to brag?" And so that's where Ida gets it. I love it. And he's like, "Yeah, but most of all, it's to tell you it's okay to move on. Like, you can't hold on to the past forever and let the past stay in the past. Like, and everything's okay." And when Dell puts the seed in her hand and he closes his hand on top of her hand, they're both like shaking. And I love this. He says, "Give Albert my regards. Carving him with you is one of my dearest memories." I love that so much. And Dell basically walks away. And so now Ida and Dell kind of rekindled, not fully rekindled their father-daughtership, their father-daughterhood, but it's better now. And Ida can move on, and we see her happy, like crying. Oh my goodness, I love it so much. And then we have Love and Luce at the bottom. I'm more focused with Ida crying, to be honest, but when I replayed it, Love said, "Hey Luce, that was close. The tides almost came on us," because it's like around sunset. And then Ida graduated her tears to saying that, "Hey, you two nerds, did you find that older nerd?" And it's like, oh, Lucy's like, "Hey, you're laying it pretty thick, Ida. But yeah, we found Phillip." It's like, oh my goodness, the temple actually worked? And he's like, "Yeah, but Phillip stunk. He was a bad dude." And Lil's like, "I punched him in the face." And oh, groovy, auntie. And then, I love Ida so much. You two need to stop this. This weird, cool aunt thing. We get back to the past, where Phillip trips over something, and he's breathing really hard. He's like, "Oh, those barbarians, those witches." And we see him, make a few light glyphs. We see this big carving. We don't know what this is. And we see his arm is filled with glyphs. It's like mutating. And then he's like breathing really hard. He finds I'm assuming it's a palisman. It's kind of jacked up looking. He cracks it. He breathes it in. And he uses and we hear a little bit of Bella's voice along with his Phillip voice. So yeah, I'm like 95% sure that this is Bella's. But again, it doesn't get pull over "you thought" on me saying, "Oh, this isn't Bella's." This could be like Bella's brother or something. That's why they have similar sounding voice, maybe. But I'm like 95% sure this is Bella's. Especially since his hatred towards wild magic. And it's like, "Oh, I just need to live long enough to see this through." And he like over the collector sphere, and we see a big like reflection, and we see the eyes of the collector go down looking at Phillip. And he's like, "And you're gonna help me, collector." And when he was absorbing the palisman, we see like a mark over his nose, and actually looks like the same mark that Bellows had, since we saw the goop over his face, that scar thing. So yeah, I'm 95% sure this is Bellows, but again, it's not 100% confirmed yet. But so yeah, you're gonna help me, collector, and that's the end of the episode. Whew. Yeah, I need some water. I've been talking for a long time. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's been a while. Sorry. Hopefully it wasn't too long for you guys. But basically, so what do I give this episode? Let's see. Let's see. 95. 90. 85. 80. 75. Wait, so 80. So 95. So 95, 90, 85, 80, 75. I give this an 85%. This is a B plus. I thought this was a great episode. Definitely better than the episode 11, which I just thought was good, but too many plot lines. So yeah, this was great. Again, my only problems with the episode, again, Flora Explora with that I don't know, that just so bothered me, that insane strength that she used to pull down the Griffin. I know I'm just nitpicking, but I just didn't like it. Ooh, excuse me, I'm so sorry. Luce just assuming that Philip's time is the Edwardian era, and she was right. I just think that was too coincidental. That was another one. The puzzle, we didn't get information about the puzzle. That was another lame thing. Also Luce not paying attention to Liv, she was ignoring her, even though it kind of worked out for her in the end, where she was listening to the tickling. I mean, I guess she did sort of apologize in the end. I guess when she was doing her full apology, that was for everything. But I was still kind of bugged by that. Come on, Luce, pay attention. But so yeah, 85%. I thought this was great. I'm 95% sure that Phillip is Bellows, and he does not like wild magic, and apparently the Titan didn't want him to find these glyphs, or at least it took him a very long time compared to Luce. So I wonder why. Does the Titan not like Phillip / Bellows? I don't know. Apparently the Titan likes Luce, apparently, or at least when Luce focuses. Cute and love stuff, which I loved. Ida and Dell rekindling, I love that. King calling Dell his grandpa, Hootie and Dell interacting even though Dell was off screen, but Hootie said like, yeah, I was talking to your dad. That was pretty cool. We get to see Gwen again. That was awesome. We saw Steve. He had only like a few lines. And that was pretty cool that he showed up. Was there everything I wanted to say? Oh yeah, so everyone everyone, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, give me a big thumbs up, leave a comment down below. Don't forget to share the video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for Big City Greens Season 2, Episode 21, and that is called Chipocalypse Now. And I'm pretty sure, at least for meantime, Episode 22, which is, I'm not gonna say the name, but Episode 22, that will be for Wednesday. That's for Big City Greens. When will I do Episode 13, Any Sport in the Storm? I'm sorry, Any Sport in a Storm. And Episode 14, what was the episode title for that? Reaching Out? Yeah, Episode 14, Reaching Out. I'm not sure. But since I'm getting the hang of doing the shorts thing, I kind of getting into the groove of that. I'm actually really enjoying it. Tomorrow, actually, since kind of 2 days in a row I was doing Owl House stuff, maybe tomorrow, before or after my Big City Greens, big episode, I do a mini review on Any Sport in a Storm. It'll only be like a minute and a second long, but yeah, I think it'll be pretty cool. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow for that. Okay. Bye.